I take the experience of regularly working with the Word of God in study and in prayer to be ready to share the fruits of these conversations in preaching and in teaching, and finding myself being changed by the discipline of this companionship. I take the experience of sharing the concerns of the people in my congregation and in my community, little things and sometimes monumental things, bearing burdens and sharing joys and finding God as we seek our common good. I take the experience of years of learning from my congregation and learning from my colleagues in ministry and being encouraged and being challenged by them. And I take the experience of recalling that often when I'm unsatisfied with what I was able to do, becoming amazed by what was actually accomplished, because it was not my doing alone, even when I thought I was alone. And sometimes I feel that I have taken more than I have given, until I recall that everything I have received has been something shared. One time, as I was serving communion, when I gave the elements to a woman, she said, "Thank you." And she said it in such a way that I knew she was speaking not only to me, she was in communion with God right there at that moment. It was important that I was there to do what I was doing, but it was not what I was doing that was important. God had arrived ahead of me again. God had not waited for me to get started, but I got to help with what God was already doing. I get to bear witness and to give thanks and praise for what God is already doing, and I get to help with the work that God already has underway, work that now will be taken up and carried on by others. My advice is to take advice. Take advice with a grain of discernment salt, but take advice. Advice is usually free and rarely hard to come by. And none of us are called to work alone. None of us are called to work with only our own knowledge and skill. The best advice that I received when starting out came from my district superintendent. No kidding. Love them, I was told. Just love them. Love the congregation, love the community where I am sent. Bear goodwill always to those that Jesus died for and now lives for. I am prepared to retire, but I'm not ready to quit. There is still more to do and more that I might do. Perhaps I may be needed to serve a church part-time. Perhaps I'll find something else, or something else will find me. In any case, I expect that the plans of my wife and my children will now become more a part of any plans of mine.